Attention gamers. Riot Games is currently on such an impressive combo of piss-awful decisions that they are one nick slip on stream from losing half their audience. The arcanification of a game that once held a high skill expression is leading towards cookie-cutter template games where players are punished from deviating from the straightforward game loop that is solely there to encourage new players to eventually give into the new ad-spamming mobile game client and buy new skins. The CEO has an approval rating worse than a young Donnie J among blue-haired chicks named Robert, but with a game whose logo is an L unironically holding a lot of them. Recently I figured it's as safe time as ever to call it the most hated game on the market, as 90% of the content about it is negative and every other comment of mine looks like a League's anonymous meeting where people are saying how long they've been sober, and according to ban rate data the most hated champ in the most hated game is none other than Shaco, who is banned in a third of games, and today I figured we would ride the hate algorithm on YouTube to see why. Now initially I figured I would just play this cuckwad of a circus clown myself and my gameplay would immediately yield a strong resemblance to that of Pink Ward and it would be what Mr. Beast would call a banger of a YouTube video, but I ran into logistical issues with that plan. You see, I did everything right on paper. I researched the best runes and lazily imported them into my client. I banned champs that Chester the Jester loses to. I used my draft team scouter to see that my mid was good with Swain, only to gaslight him into thinking he's a god so that he would play that geriatric Raven breeder. Bruh. Instead of guessing what all this gotcha game mastery crystal by my skin icon bullshit means, I just used a scouting report of all 10 players to see who was a newbie waking up trash terrible at the game and know what I'm in for. But despite all that preparation, the gameplay looked like this. So yeah, I fed my ass off and we lost, but the one thing I still had was a comprehensive data analyst's wet dream of an endgame report to tell me the 1000 things I could have done better that game. So if all of these features I just showed look like they could help you, it's all free through an app called Professor. They sponsor my stuff and I love them, so check out the link below and let's get into some actual good gameplay. Okay, so what you are about to witness is Heath Ledger himself reincarnate to serve one final purpose, and that is to give the most incredible Rift Joker performance our chronically online eyeballs have ever seen. And he starts off with a sub 3-minute full clear, which is impressive until you considered Riot made it so a semi-drunk Sky Bree playing this game twice a year with her tits out farming goon clicks for OnlyFans could do this on pretty much any champ. Anyways, he then gets in line for the all-you-can-eat crab buffet, and let me tell you, Riot is losing money on him as he eats to them bitches, as they better be careful. Red Lobster went bankrupt on such an offer and they are already crying words like profit margin and sustainability in the updates, where they are supposed to be talking about what they are doing to make their game feel less dog shit to play. But with a forest that's looking more clear than what you would find in LA right now, he finds himself setting up a mid-lane alley-oop with Gary the Gargoyle, who Angel Reese's his taunt, which lets the little dragon tadpole escape. But Jester the Chester doesn't dress like a kid's party performer to not bring a bag of tricks with him as he hits the river roundabout before heading straight back in. A little stealth into "Hey Smolder, your mom's about to watch you die" combo ensues, and then you'd think this is an easy 2v1, but that Spartan faced way worse odds in the movie 300 and came out on top. aka Gator don't play no shit, so it did end in an even 1-for-1 trade. This just caused our Chuckles the annoying shitbag to evolve in his ways, as the next run-in with Spearshot was when he whipped out the infamous Clown Mitosis, which if you didn't know is the Blastoise to this Greek gladiator's Charizard, as way too many shanks went up his shithole that day. But here's the thing, you don't go through the trouble of literally clown cloning yourself just to commit one homicide, as he then sprints down river to see if some scissor slut wants to let him steal the kill on her to land a dash and douche dagger toss for the kill. Then a true killer covers his bases, as you can see he is scanning the area for Wi-Fi to make sure no clips to incriminate him in the attempted murder of a glittery midget make their way online, but she ended up swelling up like a wet tampon and escaping the kill. But this particular clown doesn't take kindly to people declining his invitations to murder them, so he giddily skips back in lane, flanks out, shanks out as he hits the gank on this high BMI caterpillar, who eventually emotes, thinking he will safely be able to be a butterfly one day, but Shaco has other plans for that chubby caterpie wasp, and there aren't enough shields on the planet to keep this circus performer from getting paid in this case. He then heads way up north to Rift, Canada, because word on the street some bitch is giving bowl cuts to people who want fades because she thinks it would make a fun TikTok series, and to Mr. Ledger that's just fucking rude and quite frankly deserving of getting jabbed by a butter knife a few times before being body slammed by a rich diabetic all the way back to base. And I think one of the reasons why Chuckles the annoying shitbag is so hated is because he can commit crab heist better than someone getting arrested in a Long John Silver parking lot, and then he can piss people off by calling in his stunt double to pursue otherwise stupid as shit plays. People will want to unload on anything with a red health bar only to be Jack in the box like a little bitch, which will only irritate them further and force even more aggressive wasting of cooldowns. And it's one thing to humiliate someone in a private setting, but this gets 10 times worse in group gatherings, as you can see the clearly agitated Spartan trying his Greek dick off to finally shut down the Shaco, only to fall for the little evil Titlin's bag of tricks and quite literally die of embarrassment among other things. Our favorite kid's birthday party performer is now trying to train a Godzilla crab so he can stand out from the competition who are just blowing up balloon animals, but there's apparently an underground oligarchy in the clown business who is very against such innovation in the space, and long story short, this turns into a full-blown World War III with no cooldown being spared. Chester plays this fight like it's his favorite Halo 2 map, on the outskirts, until he finds an opportunity to light the little pixie-titted midget on fire. This gives his team a huge number advantage to the point where bully mentality ends up reigning supreme and he can go back to learning his new party tricks. Everyone is now grouping up mid because even in Grandmaster the temptation to A-Ram is just too strong, as our protagonist asks, hey, can I bring A+1, and Gwen is like, as long as I can cut his hair, but what she doesn't realize is that Shaco is defensive when it comes to getting snipped, and she ends up dying because of it. He then hangs out in the back waiting for cooldowns, which is a severe contrast to the way I had tried to play this champ, as I would never see a spit-happy bumblebee and correctly kite the fuck out of there until I could safely rejoin in the festivities to toss a steak knife at the shitter, but then again that's why we are watching Heath Ledger play and not me. Apparently Sweeney Todd's daughter is still farming clout off of the whole surprise you have a bowl cut bitch series she's running on Insta Reels, and at a certain point enough is enough, as everyone groups up to publicly cancel her for such a stupid ass idea. Then word on the street there's a moronic Mark's non-gender specific person up north thinking they can safely split push on a roll that falls over from a strong wind, which ends up being closer than I think anyone would have expected given the circumstances. Fast forward, the blue-haired Ninny Muggins is still being reprimanded of her scissors while Chuckles is slowly snowballing out of control. 7-1-10 He's now more fed than a post-contest Kobayashi, and seeing as he has his escape path more trapped than a booby, he is able to hit them with a little flanky Frankie shift shank redemption status to get 2 kills way deep onto enemy private property. This lets the red bars rub their sweaty gooches all over the northern inhibitor, and I guess the proper playstyle of the most hated champ on the most hated game is to just run around in fights doing nothing until an opportunity arises to hit a stealth ambush like a subtlety rogue on some unsuspecting fairy godmother. Only to then proceed to pace back and forth like you are holding in a post mount and do chug piss before coming back in for a shank and a steal, which must be infuriating to deal with, and I'm talking about dealing with League of Legends in general here. Anyways, one more teamfight breaks out and there's just a large amount of tomfoolery and burst a bitch down combos going out at this point, as the gang mentality is taking full form in a match that was more retardedly lopsided than the list of things being prioritized over at Riot right now, and I think with that, we've all just witnessed why 30% of the time people would rather not have a circus performer in their games. Rav out.